That type of mistake cannot happen.
500,000.
It's a lot, sir, and it's a very it's a huge mistake. I know the people that, and then obviously you can point at the vendor and say, well, the vendor made them a mistake, but the buck stops with the election officials.
That's exactly right.
I have sympathy for them. I've been in a position where one mistake can have an impact on an election, but it's that type of thing that hurts confidence, and so I have hope that continued training and professional training will, sort of.
Well, this is where, again, this committee in Congress, it's better, one way or the other, is supposed to provide oversight. And their response is, well, we'll send another 500,000 out. What could go wrong there? No, it just shows that there are problems with our election system, and it's okay for us to question it. It's okay for us to do due diligence on these type of things. So that just amazed me. I've known some patients of mine who've come in and said, they got mail-in ballots, and they've got them for people that lived in their residence 3 and 4 years or 5 times before. So there are obviously problems that go on with this. I want to talk a little bit about cybersecurity. We live in a digital world where now there's AI, there's quantum physics that are pushing out insane amount of data and really jeopardizing our systems. We live in a dangerous time. There are enemies that want to destabilize, divide us at home. We've seen this in so many different instances. So, Commissioner Hovland, I just want to ask about the EAC.
Subscribe, God bless you. What's up, my fellow American patriots? This is America Truth Channel, your no-nonsense, red-blooded right-wing patriot, back with another fire-breathing reaction video. Today we're tackling something that should concern every single freedom-loving American, the absolute disaster that is unsecured mail-in voting. The video we're reacting to is from a House Administration Committee hearing where North Carolina Congressman Greg Murphy absolutely goes after the former Election Assistance Commission folks on these ridiculous mail-in ballot screw-ups. This isn't ancient history. This is ongoing proof that Democrats and weak rhinos are playing fast and loose with our sacred elections. As a patriot who believes in secure borders, secure elections, and putting America first, this gets me fired up. Let's break it down clip by clip, give you the raw facts, and deliver my unfiltered conservative take. Right here, boom.
As the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Murphy Dr. Murphy for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. They gave me a cheat sheet for your names because I'm too old and I can't read everybody's name down there. Thank you very much for convening this subcommittee hearing. Obviously, this is a bipartisan issue. We want people to have access to what is a tremendous right that we're given here in the United States to vote, and we want to make sure that they're safe and secure. I was just reading, I was not aware of what happened in Pennsylvania, so thankfully nobody was injured. I would like to go just a little bit quick off script to ask Mr. Palmer rather about what's the deal going on with Maryland. My understanding is they sent out 500 wrong mail-in ballots. Oops.
Well, I saw some of the conversation about that, sir, and I would say that, it's a mistake. It just cannot happen. That type of mistake cannot happen.
500,000.
It's a lot, sir, and it's a huge mistake. I know the people that, and then obviously you can point at the vendor and say, well, the vendor made them a mistake, but the buck stops with the election officials.
That's exactly right.
I have sympathy for them. I've been in a position where one mistake can have an impact on an election, but it's that type of thing that hurts confidence, and so I have hope that continued training and professional training will, sort of.
Well, this is where, again, this committee in Congress, it's better, one way or the other, is supposed to provide oversight, and their response is, well, we'll send another 500,000 out. What could go wrong there? No, it just shows that there are problems with our election system, and it's okay for us to question it. It's okay for us to do due diligence on these type of things. So that just amazed me. I've known some patients of mine who've come in and said they got mail-in ballots, and they've got them for people that lived in their residence 3 and 4 years or 5 times before. So there are obviously problems that go on with this. I want to talk a little bit about cybersecurity. We live in a digital world where now there's AI, there's quantum physics that are pushing out insane amount of data and really jeopardizing our systems. We live in a dangerous time. There are enemies that want to destabilize, divide us at home. We've seen this in so many different instances. So, Commissioner Hovland, I just want to ask about the EAC. How does it work to stay informed of the constantly evolving cyber threats? What does it do to not only figure these out, but also to communicate to, state, local levels to make sure that people know what's going on?
Thank you for the question. It is a real challenge. Often one of the biggest challenges when you talk about the scope and scale of 8,000 plus jurisdictions across the country is communicating to that last mile. One of the ways that we've been doing that, we communicate a number of things, but really so much on cybersecurity is about the basics. Even when we look at threats from artificial intelligence and AI, so much of the prevention comes down to being good at the basics. And so that's why we address that with both resources that we provide, various, training guides, et cetera, but also pieces of our learning lab. Some of the trainings in that platform walk through best practices and again
And
help.
you guys communicate state and local as literally as currently? How often do you guys do that? What is your relationship with those folks?
We have regular contact with election officials all across the country in a number of
What
ways.
does regular contact mean?
Every day.
Okay.
Again, it depends, but we have a monthly newsletter dedicated to election officials. We have a platform to communicate with election officials. Our board meetings that I mentioned earlier have state and local officials from every state and territory in the country. And so through those processes, we get very widespread feedback, small jurisdictions, large jurisdictions, state officials, local officials, and that really helps inform our work and makes it better.
Okay, great. Mr. Hicks, just one question, because I never understand I don't know what the answer to this is when people say pay their fair share. I've never had an idea when, taxation, this, that, and the other stuff. How much in your opinion, should the federal government be paying versus what should the state be paying as far as elections? What is the fair share number?
That's a hard question to answer, Congressman.
Well, you're the one that brought it up.
But I agree. But I would say that elections overall cost close to $6 billion per election cycle. I think adding 2 years ago for the Congress to appropriate $15 million is not enough. So if I had my drudgers, I would say the federal government should pay 100% of federal elections. But that's not for me to decide. That's that's for Congress to decide. Okay. So fair share, I think, is a significant amount.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'll yield back.
I now recognize the gentlelady from Illinois, Ms. Miller, for 5 minutes.
Representative Greg Murphy drops the hammer. They sent out 500,000 wrong mail-in ballots. Can you believe that? 500,000 ballots sent to the wrong people, wrong addresses, or with errors. This isn't a major election cycle, and the so-called experts at the Election Assistance Commission act like it's just a little oopsie. Murphy is pressing them hard on what safeguards are in place, and their answers are weak, bureaucratic nonsense. As a right-wing patriot, I see this as deliberate negligence. Mail-in voting exploded during COVID under Democrat pressure, and now we're seeing the consequences. Lost trust, opportunities for fraud, and chaos that undermines we the people's voice. Let's get detailed on why this matters, patriots. In the hearing, they discuss how these massive mail-in programs lack proper verification. No signature matching done right, no chain of custody, ballots sitting in unsecured drop boxes for days. One witness or official admits to widespread issues with voter rolls not being cleaned, dead people, moved people, duplicates. Murphy calls it out straight. This creates an environment where bad actors can exploit the system. From my America First perspective, this is exactly why we fought so hard for voter ID, same-day voting, and paper ballots with audits. Democrats love mail-in because it's harder to secure. They scream voter suppression when we demand basic common sense rules like showing ID, the same ID you need to buy beer, board a plane, or get welfare. But when 500,000 ballots go haywire, suddenly it's crickets or excuses about access. This hearing exposes the rot. Blue cities and states push universal mail-in, knowing it favors their machine politics. We've seen it in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, close races decided by mysterious midnight ballot dumps. As patriots, we know secure elections are the foundation of this republic. Without them, what's the point of voting? Now, let me give you my full right-wing patriot breakdown. Congressman Greg Murphy is doing the Lord's work here, representing real conservative values: transparency, accountability, and election integrity. The left wants to paint anyone questioning mail-in voting as an election denier, but look at the facts in this hearing. 500,000 wrong ballots isn't a glitch. It's a feature of a sloppy, fraud-friendly system they forced on us. Remember 2020? Record mail-in, record irregularities, record lawsuits dismissed on technicalities. States like Nevada and New Jersey had massive issues. Patriots warned this would happen, and here we are again. The former EAC officials in this clip give vague answers about working on improvements and best practices. Best practices? How about requiring proof of citizenship, strict deadlines, and no harvesting of ballots by paid activists? This ties directly into the border crisis, too. Millions of illegals under Biden-Harris-Walz era, and Democrats fight tooth and nail against voter ID while pushing non-citizen voting in some localities. Coincidence? I don't think so. As a patriot, I believe we must secure our elections like we secure our borders. No exceptions. American citizens only. One legal vote per citizen. That's not extreme. That's basic constitutionalism. The hearing highlights how mail-in creates delays in results, eroding public confidence. When Americans go to bed on election night not knowing winners because ballots are still being counted, it breeds suspicion. Murphy presses on chain of custody failures, ballots without proper tracking. In a right-wing world, we'd have same-day, in-person voting with ID as the gold standard, military-style audits, and severe penalties for fraud. Democrats' obsession with expanding mail-in isn't about making it easier. It's about making it easier to cheat. They target low-information voters, harvest ballots in nursing homes, and use these errors as cover. This hearing should lead to real legislation: nationwide voter ID, ban on unsolicited mail ballots, and defunding states that refuse audits. Ronald Reagan taught us trust but verify. We can't trust a system riddled with 500,000 errors. Patriots like Greg Murphy, Byron Donalds, and others are the fighters we need in Congress, exposing the swamp, demanding reform. Patriots, this video proves the battle for election integrity is far from over. Representative Greg Murphy's questioning should wake up every American who loves this country. We cannot allow another stolen or compromised election. The left wants chaos to push their radical agenda: open borders, socialism, erasing our history. We stand for law and order, including at the ballot box. If this fires you up like it does me, hit that like button hard, subscribe for more Patriot reactions, and share with everyone, especially independents and normies still trusting the system. Comment below. Do you support strict voter ID and ending universal mail-in? Should heads roll for these 500K errors? God bless you. God bless our republic. And God bless the United States of America.